Please give it up for Kevin Becker.
That's my one fan out there, thank you. You're right. In second grade, I wore capes and fought with wooden swords and got brought to the principal's office for being off. They shamed me like that desk could contain me. Imagination freed me from prisons the school made me. I am not God. I'm a universe rock star. You the bomb, Unabomb, Unicron's hot rod. Watch palms on mic, watch water emerge. Specifically, the Pacific hangs on all of my words. Slow me down if I'm going too fast and get interpreters. I'll take you from the surface to surfing the earth's curvature. Show you how to string words like Christmas lights. Call me old Kris Kringle with crimson tights, man. Y'all ain't ready for the nightmare that's coming. Got a dungeon full of dragons all imagining something. Abracadabra and punches inside the bars that they drunk and dunking your buds into a mug of music you could feel love in. In a world of demons and dragons, but Beetlejuice and Krakens, my dreams are lucid and savage beyond what your brain imagines. This world fades away, cut away by razor blades. My writing becomes real, writing on paper planes. Composing becomes holy, my broken soul will provoke me, invoking a locomotion of oceans of okie dokies. I've got treasure that storms of life had unearthed, that I would trade for nothing as I wade in its surf. When you finally find who you are and why you were birthed, you search the stars for direction and you love when it hurts. My love is dispersed for all that it is not. Slip knots are torn and storms become pit stops. Hello, my name is Kevin Becker and I want to welcome you to my pit stop. So I grew up in Bayonne, New Jersey, above a tavern that my parents still own, and it was like growing up on a pirate ship. It was wonderful. My mom tells a story that I used to do two things as a little boy. I would march around the house with my Bible quoting the 23rd Psalm, and it talked about the Lord being my shepherd in valleys the shadow of death and fearing no evil. The second thing she said I used to do was I used to run with my faded pajamas, slide across the kitchen room floor, jump to the couch, jump from the couch to the coffee table, from the coffee table to the floor with a towel wrapped around my neck, and I would say, I am Duke the Man, I am Duke the Man. So one day my mother sits me down, she says, Kevin, it's I am Superman. So I look at my mother proud and I say, me too. Me too. In my beginning, I was formless and forgiving, and the storm of God's spirit was cylindrically spinning. Cataclysmic arithmetic clashes with brass instruments, ignitions of nickel twisted the band's licorice explode. Light volcanic magic enthrones what you humans call a heart in a chamber made of bones. He made mountains out of muscle to butter, ocean to blood, breathing life to my brain, giving life to my lungs. Who you? Who me? Houdini is in the cool breeze, moving like Hadouken, rooted between two trees, saturated in a dream already navigated, placed in the place that gravity naturally gravitated. Microscope the globe, you'll find his fingerprints, pictured like hieroglyphics inside pyramids. Made in his image, the image mirrors his innocence. Finger on the trigger triggers deliverance. You should have seen my queen, my body forgot to breathe. A carbon copy opposite Eve, opposite me. I can't explain this feeling that I had until I had it. What kind of magnets attract to planet mechanics? Backflip the axis of my atlas. I dance like a wick that was tickled with matchsticks. Butterflies of the H-ghost. Blaze won't make smoke. My bones burn like the rods used to make toast. She took my breath away, making my body think it could levitate. For heaven's sake, I broke in the way I spoke I would never break. Make love We made magic that made love and moonwalked across the earth with MJ's glove. When heaven and earth crash, the blessings of birth smash, inventions start inventing while abacusing the math. Just imagine Paris like capturing Helen on Sebastian's warship co-captained by Magellan. But you see, there was this tree of evil sitting like an Edgar Allan Poe poem. Forbidden fruit broke dance on the lining of our own zone. Seduction seduced and the reduction of juice. My deduction deduces the destruction of truth. I got a bad feeling that fruit's been scratching her itch. You can't sit in ruby slippers without killing a witch. I'm confident her conscience was constantly bombed, bonded to a place where the oxygen's gone. This was Leo's inception without Neo's correction. All she needed was my love, now she needled injections. My soul broke watching her embrace that old oak. We wrote symphonies, now we can't even hold notes. Yeah. She gave in, the ground shook, it was raining. She shook, embracing herself muddy and naked. Demanded I receive it and eat it or leave her. Leave her, I pleaded, I'm bleeding, needing to need her. But she's gone. So, July 14th, 2001, I married the love of my life. And it was our Christian tradition to have a prophet come prophesy over our marriage. And Prophet Rusty Painter steps up to the microphone and he looks at me and my new bride and he says, "Your marriage is gonna be like a volcano on the island of Hawaii. And when it erupts, it's gonna change the landscape around everybody." Now, at the time, I was super excited. I said, yeah, me and my wife were gonna change the world. We had big plans. But that's not the kind of volcano he was talking about. July 14th, 2013, 13 years later, my wife sat me down and she told me that she didn't love me anymore and that we could stay together and raise the kids as friends, or I could leave. And this was her reasoning why. Rainbow Anatomy. They say rays of white light, they run in straight lines, like coke on the glass you chase with grapevines. It ain't time, break her brake lines. It's already taken 8 minutes to space dive. She rides until absorbed or caught in prisms. Caught in prisons? No, I said caught in prisms. Where she gets bent into something different. Caught in prisms? No, I said caught in prisons. Is she red? Is she orange? Is she yellow? Hello, sirens. Is she green, blue, violent? I mean violet. Emerges fanned out like an Uzi blast. Roy G. Biv jitters in kabuki dance. The Autobot of her body's blocks of a Decepticon. Leprechauns are real and they speak in the devil's lexicon. Gold, kid, she carries pots of pain. That's why I hide whenever the sun shines in the rain. July 14th, 2013, the orbit of my Earth first started reversing. First thing she did was regurgitate yearnings and nurse old flames that swayed like a virgin. My wife slammed into a prism of lesbianism. Caught in prisons? No, I said caught in prisms. Where she got bent into something different. Caught in prisms? No, I said caught in prisons. I no longer felt heat, felt life, felt hope. I felt a bow around my neck as my retinas broke. Broke, choked by gray smoke. My family fell apart while the media made jokes. I loved her. Now when I reach, I can't touch her. It's an optical illusion confused by the colors. As her light bends, our life ends. She knows not love even though she pretends. So now, when I see red, I see blood so deep that my dreams run. My red rum, it reruns. Orange is, orange you, Halloweens, hallowed news, hallow who, hallow me, he who hollows hollow views, hell. Yellow yells, for every time I beg to slow down, I picked up every piece of you that you refuse to know now. When I see green, I see snakes in the face of your new lover. Do you see it too, and it's why you keep her covered? Blue is blurred, my blue bird, confused by two words. I do becomes I don't, and you broke your U-turn. Violets, a wine press, a violent mirages. You seem to know your will, but can't be still to know what God's is. Indigo, in I go, whimsical, whim cylindrical. I'm cynical, spinning in rivers of baptismals. It's difficult to see a rainbow and smile, knowing that for it to exist, light has to die. So I decided to leave. And it was very difficult, a choice that I second-guessed for a long time. One night, as I was putting my kids to bed, I put my son James to bed, and I was going to my daughter Sydney's room, and I opened the door to her room, and next to her bed, there was blankets upon blankets. There was pillows. There was every stuffed animal that she ever owned on that floor. So I looked at her and I said, Sydney, what are you doing? It's bedtime. And I'll never forget it. She looked at me and she said, Daddy, I know Mommy doesn't want you sleeping with her anymore, but you can sleep right next to me. I don't mind. I don't mind. I know you're watching me above my kid's bedroom with your hawk eyes, screaming how daddy loves them, succumbing to horse rides. I chase them, put my hands on them like I am Jacob, and wrestle with the angels on ladder, salam alaikum. I tell them stories on how you form me in glory, their oratories, and corking the course of Dr. Kevorkian's oratories. I tell them bedtime stories. How much do you love me? To Pluto, kiddo, and back. I ride a rainbow with Skittles and tickle them till they laugh. Pajamas prophesy, a ballerina and Wolverine. Cool to dream with them in catechisms the two can see. Beautiful and brave. As a father, I'm amazed, but I've already aggravated them navigating their maze. I've already failed them against the monster I couldn't fight. Useless versus Medusa with bazookas alight. It took two to take her down, and I found myself all alone, singing like Freddie Hammond. My cannons wouldn't reload. We use a suitcase as a rocket as we fly through space. They smell like Johnson & Johnson and bubblegum toothpaste. Imagination's a gift, I unwrap it every night. It gives light to the darkness that carpets the sight. I understand it. I squeeze them in my arms like a sandwich. I twist them till I'm giving them R's among Kansas. It's gonna be okay, even though I can't stay. Maybe Jesus isn't deaf, he's just a little delayed. And so I leave them, breathing heavy, my chest is heaving. Cleaning out my clock as I watch what I don't believe in. Anointed every window with a Bible and a squeegee. Rubbing my Bible like a lamp and asking for a genie. I prayed as King Kong, climbed every level with my woman in his pocket like a Bachman pretzel. I walked through every room barefoot like I was Moses, reaching for burning bushes, dreaming for Joseph. I shut the door to a house that I broke my body making. That's the funny thing about creation. You have to hold it in your hands, but hold it only as sand, and only if you can show me his holiness holding man. I watch their lollipop faces fog up the glass with a witch that's pissed at me in Munchkin land. One hand over my mouth, the other wonders if me and their mother will ever recover. They want to know where I'm going and where have I been. I tell them wrestling devils as big as elephants is. Where daddy goes, I hold to Pinocchio's nose and hope to God they don't notice the very moment it grows. I want to take my minions with me, the Disney villain, the Zimmy, skinny Vinny's in the chimney, my gypsy fingers are sticky, but I get in my car and I reach for the stars and I weep to a God that's not that very far. A hard part about this whole journey was watching my kids struggle through it all. My daughter, she developed nervous tics, and she grunts, and my son, he blinks and he squints. And it's hard as a dad to watch your kids struggle, and there isn't a damn thing you could do about it. But love them. I remember one night I was on my way to work, and I was working a night shift for somebody, and I was driving down MacArthur Highway in Newark, New Jersey, and for the very first time in my life, I felt like committing suicide and killing myself. And I remember looking at the speedometer of my car, and I remember putting my foot on the gas, and I remember revving it up, thinking I could just go right into a telephone pole and the pain would go away. I put my foot on the gas, and the car starts to rev up, and I hear one word. I hear no, no. And I start to see these flashbacks of that stupid-ass little kid marching through the house with his Bible, talking about the 23rd Psalm, talking about God being my shepherd and the valley of shadow of death and fearing no evil. I saw this stupid-ass towel around my neck, skidding across the kitchen floor, going from the floor to the couch to the coffee table, saying, I am due to man, and I hear no, no. Upon my kitchen table, I laid out all the ways I would die, not just on pen and paper. My patience was sharper than the knives. I had a double deuce of Grey Goose, a homemade noose, a 22 that I never had the balls to shoot. Close my eyelids, choke all alone without a Heimlich. Tongue is in the fixture, flip on the light switch. Ammonia and bleach are the cocktail that killed Heath. Bewitch a couple apples to put this bitch to sleep, then there's the high-speed car crash. How about a razor blade bottle of wine in a hot bath? They say you can't drown yourself. Well, watch me come close, come close. If that don't work, watch for the gun smoke. I got a light that done gone dim. I can't win on a ship that done gone sink. I can't swim. Rewrite it, rewrite the wrong sided. My hope is on a boat where my scopes collided. Study the murder scene, read the last words that I wrote, written in blood high above a portrait of hope. In the picture, we was all smiling, hear the laughter. Now you hear the creak of the rope swinging from rafters, back and forth like a pendulum in Grandpa's clock. But naked only, wearing my Grandpa's watch. What's up with the puddle puddled up underneath me? An old riddle to tickle my middle, whistling Dixie. That's how I wanted to go. Nice and slow, block of ice and a rope, 8-ball and a bag of dope. Feel my spirit ripping from my body like tearing cloth, sucking the air made of exhales aired by bearing cost. Bearing cross? No, bearing cost. The weight of my world has my opiates wearing off. Got a death wish. Charles Bronson, this road alone. My death is a poem of a poet not knowing home. Hey, yo, forget that. With a capital F in a truck hat. Jack Burton raps, unwrapping a magic comeback. What good was Christ if I take my life? It's like spitting in his face, insisting I was right. He took my case, he died in my place. It's either bullshit or the anchor that anchors my weight. Upon his kitchen table, he laid out all the ways he would die, not just on pen and paper. The Caesar was sharpening knives. How about a crucifix? Now that'll make William Wallace shake. The trigonomics of dislocating bones to make them break. Fascinating the anasphyxiation of God's lungs. Captivating retaliation inside of God's love. Like the earth wasn't nervous to feel God's blood. The shaking made Atlas tuck tail and run. How do I sit here contemplating me snapping my neck while the God of Jacob Bear hugs me into his breast? I wrestle his best like the devil testing his flesh. I want his love to bombard me hard in my chest. I must be that one dumb son of a bitch who constantly picks himself off the canvas you kiss. So I won't let go till you cause me to limp, until you change my name and the way that I think, the way that I see. I know that at one point you were me, and every emotion that my body could possibly be. Breathe. I won't release until you breathe. Our breath's so scary it made Mary conceive. So through it all, I developed nervous tics of my own. I used to shake uncontrollably at night when I was by myself, and I didn't know why I was shaking. I knew I was hurting inside, but I couldn't make the shaking stop. No matter what I did or what I tried, or nothing made the shaking stop. So I tried to do something different one night. And I sat down in front of my computer and I put on an Eminem instrumental and I began to write. Yeah, it's funny, right? Eminem saving lives. 3 hours later, my shaking stopped and this poem was born. It's titled Shook. God, sometimes I think I hear you, but more of a feeling see-through. I need you complete a reboot that's blooming my body's redo. Why can't you hijack my world and rip the sky back? Time lapse the time that my choices chose to ride past. Because I need communion, assuming you move to commune with a human Rubik that's stuck in the cube with room for improvement, they say. One day I'll see you when I can reach out and reach you. I really wanna believe you, believe me, I'll never leave you, but it's not like that here. There's dragons of fear, your magic appears as I imagine Aladdin's veneer. To be truthful, your voice seems a lot like mine, and I don't wanna waste my time. I want the real you. Peel through steel to reveal a feel that heals you, steals you away to a place it's okay to kneel to. Searching for buried treasure buried in the back of my dresser are letters of men who knew you or didn't know better. I am hungry, Clubber Lang hungry, doing chin-ups, waiting for God to pop by my ass with spinach. Done with the gimmicks, I'm giving you living limericks to witness unfinished list, wishes wish listed for Christmas. I got snots in my nose, I got socks full of coals, I got apocalypse pictures popping up in my soul. Rib cage exposed, there's a shiver in my bones, so cold I was about to set fire to my clothes. An Eskimo knows my winter was too long. The peanut gallery's always shouting to move on from where? Either feed me or leave me, it isn't easy to read him, and reading he reads me, meaning the meaning behind my believing is he believes me, believe me, needing is eating the needing needed to feed me. Why wonder of the ocean if you can't breathe underwater? Why wonder of a father if you can't be sons or daughters? Why wonder of the ocean if you can't breathe underwater? Why wonder of a father if you can't be sons or daughters? I have scars, played cards with angels in dive bars. I wrestle with devils in churches that hide God. I've gone hungry on sunny days, ate in the pouring rain, beat blood red till my head was a candy cane. I yelled at him, the magnum atom, the spasm. I haven't had to imagine my ladder in chasms. May the weight of your glory fall on me. I long to breathe, even if I was born to bleed. Hands high, laugh, cry, ask who, what, when, where, why. Look you in the eyes for the answer of who am I? I need you to know that I believe you. I'm see-through, I see through. Ghosts won't let me reach you. I grab the air like it was his hands. You don't understand. When God is in the room, it affects the spirit of man. Spirit speaks to spirit, and only spirits can hear it. Lyric calling bodies useless and clueless to his appearance. What does God look like? He looks godly. Names are tattooed like galaxies on his body. But probably, I spoke to him in honesty. Honestly, I probably mumbled apologies to stud and my tongue fluttered like butterfly wings as my black and white got smothered with colorful things. You feel at home in the hands that created your bones. His fingertips photosynthesis vineyards of gold. I am home. Thank you. After my divorce was final, I went home and I visited my mom and my dad. I said, Mom, Dad, I'm going to Mongolia. And my dad looks at me and he says, what the hell are you going to Mongolia for? I didn't know why I was going to Mongolia, but I felt like I needed to go. So I went to Mongolia and I rode horses through the mountains. I slept under the stars. I drank fermented horse milk. I ate groundhogs, and it was beautiful. And I buried my marriage. I mourned my marriage. I cried so many times. On my way back, I was in Ulaanbaatar Airport, and I opened up my dating app Hinge. And this beautiful girl popped up on the screen. And this is my line to her. I says, "Who's your favorite guy on here? I bet you I could beat him." And I beat them all. And this next poem is my first attempt at a love poem for my wife. I love you very much and thank you for your support. Christina, here is my heart, but first let me explain. There's a reason why I rattle when I look at a cage. There's a reason for every glitch. Pitches are off key, lines were from stitches and stitches were from, no. It takes milliseconds to reckon blows, and Kevin buried it too deep for a bloodhound's nose. You met me under the guise that I was alive, but the truth is I was almost dead just trying to survive. There's a reason why I'm gun shy, why I twitch with one eye, why I go ghost and you wonder why I don't come by. Come by or come through, assumption is I don't want you. I don't want you seeing the demons that I've succumbed to. I'm sorta out of order no matter how many quarters you put in my slot, like it or not. I'm not a New Yorker, smooth talker, I'm not what dudes offer. I'm not the cool place chased behind falling water. Don't go chase, no. My biographical plots plotted with nautical knots, span the earth's waist, trace the audible dots. I've learned to walk solo, you can call me the Hans. My elbows juke boxes, you can call me the Fonz. You can call me anything, just don't call me a con. The magic I inhabit won't inhabit a wand. When I'm boxing in Psalms, it's like soldering bombs. I've got a destination for every detonation involved. Every word that I write hits a nerve in a verbal fight where my proverbial returns the color purple's the white. On the surface, I resurfaced, recovered, and refurbished, nervous to reverse the concerns that I'm concerned with. Inner workings of a hermit, sipping Lipton like I'm Kermit, with a tendency to see a bridge and be the first to burn it. I can't feel. Every approach is the hot oven. Love becomes what was when what was wasn't. What was wasn't. All of my dues, they doesn't. Take your hand away from my throat, cause I'm no puppet. I am so sorry. These things, they bombard me. Any kind of touch from a woman's enough to harm me. I need to be deleted, believe me, need some recoding. Even holding hands is too advanced for me at the moment. But you see, the old me is still inside. And there's just enough juice in my tank for us to drive. I haven't given up on this internal blueprint. I move shit with music, it's not for amusement. Give me a stage, give me a corner, give me a cage, give me a mic and watch me turn words into grenades. I am not trap, I'm not what you call rap. I'm a ticking time bomb to bring bygones back. Bygones back, that's right, my right arm's crack. You box with God long enough, you love the taste of the mat. I'm fighting odds, witness a life of sighting God, my words turn into lightning rods. I am broken but open, bespokenly woven into a condition that the moment has chosen. Chosen, you choose me, scribble on loose leaf. A new dream while I'm giggling like, who me? Who me? No, who you? You know who I'm true to. Hold me and let the old me turn you into a new you. From the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you guys very much. And thank you. Thank you. And whatever you're going through tonight, know that there's a God that loves you and has a plan for your life. There's a no for you. You know, God is looking at your life, and don't give up. Keep moving. So thank you guys very much.